Hi, welcome to Local Flavor. My name is Oystein Solberg at the Institute of Culinary Arts with Chef Michael Combs.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me again.
Oh, of course. It wouldn't be a Friday without you.
But yeah, thank you for having me.
So we got all sorts of fun stuff planned today.
I know. I see we have a little friend here.
Yeah. What's our friend's name?
I don't know.
Does it look like a Billy?
Trout?
You think?
Yeah, Billy's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So right here we got a wonderful little steelhead trout. Mm-hmm. So it's just these ones are raised in Nebraska. So it's like a converted pig farm out in like southern Nebraska that just decided like, hey, let's start raising trout, and like we're kind of glad to do because like they're pretty tasty trout.
And we get fresh trout, and
yeah,
I mean the good size. It's about a pan size, a little bit bigger than like perfect.
Yeah,
perfect size, are not too large or anything like that. And we call them up and they give them to us very fresh. So
it's kind of magical. Like we call them on Monday and they just kind of show up on Thursday and like
exactly,
let's fish. Yeah, no, like they're very like the size is really quite perfect. Like because like you can go directly on the grill or you can roast them whole, you can poach them whole. Like you can do so many things with it. But today I want to show you guys like how to fabricate this little puppy, and I'm gonna make some delicious. I was about to say fish food, but we're not gonna make fish food. We're gonna make food out of fish
that we're gonna eat.
Yeah, well, maybe not fish food. And like fabricating these, it's not the easiest thing, but it's not too hard either.
It's because all the bones. They have so many little bones, and I don't think it's too hard, but it's more picking out all those bones.
Yeah. It's a little peculiar, but I don't know.
But doing it whole, but I mean, even cooking them whole is a good idea because if you cook them whole, then you just take the flesh off, and then the bones stay right there. You don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah, and it's really easier to cook when it's whole too.
True.
Right, because like you just retain more of the moisture and fun stuff like that. But
and they're so thin and not so huge or anything like that, so large that they cook up really well.
Yeah,
like that.
Oh, they're the happy little fish. But let's try and fabricate this this little guy. And
ready?
We're gonna put Bill into the test today. So when checking for freshness for fish, like you want to a couple of things you want to check for. Like you want to check the clarity of the eyes, make sure they're nice and clear. They don't look like they're like popped up on drugs and whatnot. They want to like look just fresh and happy. You want to check the color of the gills, like you want them to be nice and fresh. You don't want any like bad smells in there, and just kind of the general smell of the cavity of the fish. Like if it's been gutted, like you want to kind of like stick your nose in there and smell it. Kind of make sure it smells. If it's saltwater fish, like you want it to smell like saltwater and happiness and all that wonderful. These ones won't have a lot of smell to them since they're farm raised, like it's freshwater. But like you don't want it to smell any foulness. Like you want it to just smell happy.
You shouldn't smell. Yeah, it should smell fresh. You shouldn't really smell anything. Like even from right here, about a foot away. Yeah, I can't smell anything.
Totally. Yeah,
and that's the way it should be.
Yeah,
like you really can't.
Like I can smell myself over the fish, which is good, I guess.
I guess it depends on. I mean, did you have a run this morning?
I did take a shower this morning. But like a lot of people think that like slime and stuff is bad with fish, but like there's good slime and bad slime. Once it starts getting bad, like it's just like kind of gray and murky and super stanky. But this one, like it's still got a little slimy to it, but it's nice and clean and just
that indicates freshness too. Because like if you go fishing and you go to try grabbing that fish, I mean it'll come right out of your hand, and that's the reason why it's that slime that's on there. And so you want that on there. I mean. This just indicates that it hasn't been out of the water very long. And
Okay, so I'm fabricating this guy. So I usually take the head off. You can leave it on too, but taking it off is a little bit easier. So we're going to follow the curve of the collarbone. So I'm just going to cut towards the head. Okay, so kind of think about your own collarbone. Like it's kind of the same, but on a fish. Like so I just angle forward and follow the curve of the collarbone and cut towards the head. Then roll it over to the other side and do the exact same thing on this side. Okay? So then it's basically just attached by the spine. We can go right through it. Because that way the fish can sit there and watch itself do its little thing.
And you can save that for stock. That can go to the stock.
Yeah. And if it's bigger fish too, like if it started getting into like
cheeks.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But like the cheeks on these are going to be tiny, like they're minuscule. But if you start getting into like big salmons and stuff like that, you're gonna have a little cheek piece that sits right here, and that's really, really good stuff. Okay, so we got the head off, so that will expose the spine. Right, so you got fillet on each side. That's why I kind of like taking the head off, because like it just it kind of shows you where you're gonna start to cut. So I put the knife on the top of the spine.
And you're gonna hear, if you listen closely, you're gonna hear lots of popping, very tiny popping. Those are all bones that he's cutting through right now. That's a good sound.
Yeah, but you want to cut through those because those are the rib bones. Nice to see them sitting right here. Those are tiny little rib bones. So we're taking each fillet off. We've got to cut through those rib bones. So it kind of sounds like, I don't know, sounds kind of interesting. So I'm gonna do the same on the bottom side. So here you gotta be a little careful. So I want to make sure not to use like too sharp of a knife. It sounds really weird to do such a thing, but
no, sure.
Too sharp of a knife, like it's just gonna go straight through the spine, and is really it gets a little fidgety. But this one, you want it like, you don't want a dull one.
So he's cutting the spine off now.
Yeah.
I like to do salmon the same exact way actually. So you can see it in basically all you do is you'll go back and you can pop off and kind of clean everything else up, which I'm sure Oystein will do here in a minute.
Yeah.
But it's important to get that head off. If you don't take the head off, it's very hard to do that.
Yeah.
Without the head off. So that's.
Because like some people leave it on and try and go down and turn, but I find that you lose a lot of the meat kind of right behind that collar.
Right.
Like, so that's a little spine-a-rooney.
That looks good, nice and clean, and that's perfect for stock. That'll do a really good job for stock.
Like the head and the backbone, like it's delicious stock stuff. Like it's really, really good. All right, so we got our two fillets, and we still got the rib bones, we got pin bones and all that kind of fun stuff. So we got to clean those up because they're not very tasty. So the way that I usually do that, so I started with the rib bones, and just gonna angle my knife on the inside of the rib bones, and just do a long cut, and just keep the angle. You just kind of keep the knife pushing up towards the rib bones.
Because you always want to cut towards the bones. I always like to feel them because I know if I'm feeling them, then I'm losing less meat. I'm not, you don't want to be cutting down into the meat. You just want to cut those right off.
Yeah. So then once I get down to kind of the belly piece, I just cut it right off. Because like it's not that much meat on here. If it's a bigger fish, you want to try and follow the belly out. But these ones, like it's not too much belly meat on there. So. Right, but if we start dealing with like a big salmon and stuff like that, like the belly meat is like delicious. Like it's super nice and fatty. Like really like in terms of flavor, like belly and up, like you get a lot more flavor in the belly piece, like a lot more fat, and then you got the piece kind of like before you get up to the back, like it's really, really good too. Yeah. Well, now I'm starting to like have like
belly flashbacks.
Yeah. So up over the back, you can have a little bit of like a little fat layer up there. There's a little cartilage from underneath those fins.
Yep, usually there's a little fin. You probably see that a little bit more on the other side there. You'll be able to pop that one out later.
Yeah, so like if you go up to like Minnesota, like you'll get this piece here of a walleye, and they call them walleye wings. Right, because it's fairly light cartilage, like it's edible, like it's not chewy or crunchy or anything. So you can smoke them and kind of eat them like they kind of eat it like chicken wings up there. Like it's kind of fun.
Interesting. So like, you just kind of pull it out, pull the meat off there, and
like you just suck it off. Like it's really good.
Kidding, huh?
Yeah, it's really delicious.
Well, you shouldn't waste anything. I mean,
yeah, no, for sure. And they, like they certainly catch a lot of walleye up there. So
they do. Walleye is good. It's good fish to eat.
Yeah, it's tasty. Okay, so we got all the rib bones out, but we still got from the head. About half the fillet, you're going to have what we call pin bones. That's just little bones. You can kind of see them standing up. That run out from the fishy. They're not that much of a nuisance. Like if you want to leave them in, you can leave them in. But for taking them out, we got these that are like little fish tweezers. If you got needleless pliers, you can use that as well. So what I usually do, I just set up a little bowl of water because these get pretty sticky. So if I have a little bowl of water, when I pull them out, if I can find them now.
Yeah, I see some popping up over there. Yeah. So when you're pulling those out, what direction do you want to pull those out on?
So I pull them towards the head because they're sitting inside the fish, kind of like a little angle. So if I try and pull it back here, it's going to tear through the meat.
Okay.
But if I pull it at a slight angle forward, they'll pull out more clean.
Got it.
So it's a little bit tricky.
Because you don't want to tear it all up. You just want to pull them out very easy, and then you don't want them to break off either.
Exactly. So first I just take the knife and run it backwards, very gently. Like this will make him stand up a little bit.
And you can hear him. They're just kind of a little...
Yeah, it's kind of like
pop.
playing a little fish harp.
There you go. Xylophone.
Yeah. All right, so then we just use our little tweezer thingalingies. And these bones are pretty tiny.
Yeah, and this will take a while, to be completely honest. Probably about a good, depending on how good you are.
And like these tweezers are a little bent too, so they don't really grab on the tip. So I gotta try and catch them down there, which is great. Thanks. So get a good grip, and then you pull them out.
There you go.
And then you just pop in the water. That way they just get left in the water instead of like going back onto the fish. Like so. Yeah, it's a little process. But like if you're doing it for like a special dinner or something like that, like it's worth it. Mm-hmm. But it's not like it's hard, it's just tedious. And it's just half the fillet, so I think it's like 28 bones total per fillet or something.
So that's not bad.
Yeah.
Close to 60, right? 58?
Yeah. But like once you get proficient at it, like you can pull like two or three bones at a time. Like it goes pretty quick. Like so it's a little tedious.
So what about the skin? Do you have to descale it? Do you have to take it off? Do you have to do any of those things?
The scales on these are so small, so I usually just leave them on.
Yep. So these are good so you can just leave them basically the way they are. Maybe score them in the.
Yep.
Maybe score the skin. That's what we typically do. That way they don't kind of curl up, right? Because it's like a rubber band. As soon as it starts to cook,
it'll like.
Yep. It'll kind of curl up, and that's why some people have those fish fries and they got those pieces that are curled up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's okay if that's what you're looking for, but if you score them, you don't have that issue anymore.
Yeah, because the skin wants to contract a lot faster than the meat does, and then
exactly.
like.
And then you sit there with a spatula trying to hold it down and try to cook that side of it. And so you make sure we do that.
It gets complicated. All right, but I'm going to continue pulling out these pin bones. I'm going to save you guys the extreme boredom of watching me tediously pulling bones.
It's a lot of bones.
Yeah, it's a lot of bones. But we'll be back here in a little bit, and then we gotta put some sides together with it. We need some vegetables, and we're gonna make a little sauce and fun stuff. So you guys stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
See ya.
You can see someone's entire life change by simply coming in here. We get to know people individually and help connect them to the resources they need. We help them discover their passion and engage in their education. We help them navigate their career by making sure they have the right skills. Assisting people with the tools they need to move forward, that's why we're here. MCC empowers change.
Metropolitan Community College.
All right, we're back here, and we're having trout madness. We need some vegetables with it.
That's right.
My mom always said I gotta eat my vegetables.
Of course, and the trout's taking a nap right now in the fridge.
Yeah, like Bill is having a little nappy poo.
There you go.
That's all right. So we got this wonderful little happy contraption here. This is spiralizer. Really fun, and it just I don't know, like you can cut like noodles and stuff out of like different vegetables. It just kind of makes it fun to eat, just like a little different. You can buy them, like they're pretty affordable at like Asian market and stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty inexpensive. Or
yeah,
sometimes people gift them to you. You're like, what is that? What am I gonna do?
Yeah, but like you've seen more like that attachment you get for like KitchenAids and stuff like that as well. But like this is the old school one where you're the KitchenAid. It works out pretty good. They're pretty handy.
It does.
So you can even get them with like different blades that you put in there if you want to make like thin noodles and stuff like that. Today we're just gonna make like little like ribbon noodles, just because it's kind of fun.
You can do like you can deep fry stuff. Like if you did sweet potatoes, it'd be like a nest, carrot nest.
Yeah,
you might even see them sometimes at places, and that's usually like Asian restaurants or even French places. But this is how they do it.
Yeah. Like, because a lot of people think like, oh, they're cutting all that stuff by hand and like they're being so meticulous, but yeah, no, it's like magic. So I really just kind of put it on that little thingalingy right there. Boop. Make sure it's attached well back there, and then I'm just going to use my thumb and kind of keep pushing forward, and then out the back, you get like little noodles. There we go. And so you just get like little curlies. This carrot is a little bit small, so it's being fidgety, but.
Yeah, it'll come out. It'll come out in one big piece sometimes, or
yeah.
If you see
it's starting to catch a little bit.
Yep.
Right, so it's kind of more ribbons and stuff like that. But if you had a blade, like you can get like a lot finer, like little kind of like linguine noodles type thing. But like they're just kind of fun, and it's fun for kids to eat too. Like it's just a different shape of the vegetable, so you can do all sorts of fun stuff with it. So just gonna keep pushing forward.
There you go. Yep.
And again,
you get the inside. I don't know why, but I always like eating the inside.
Oh, it's the best part. Like it's sweet, it's tender.
Yep.
Yeah, like I'm like a carrot core addict, I think. Like it's just kind of fun. Like it's kind of rather relaxing. And really anything that's got like a solid, like carrots. We got some turnips, we got some daikons here. But you can do it with potatoes and all kind of fun stuff. So once you get to the end, you can snap that one off and just pull the piece back.
There you go. Oh, you're gonna share with me?
Yeah. Gotta be a little bit nice. We got our carrots. I love carrots.
Daikon.
Yep. So daikon is
I like it's a good radish. It's not very strong. Typically, some radishes are really spicy. Daikons are not.
Yeah, they're very mild, and you can use the greens too. Like the daikon greens are very, very tasty.
Even microgreens, you'll find like daikon microgreens a lot, pretty often in Asian cooking as well.
Yeah, and they're really, really good. But yeah, daikon is good. Like it's very mild. But I like using it. Like it's great for pickling. Like if you ever had like a banh mi sandwich and stuff like that.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
It's so good. Like so, it's just spiralizing super easily. And they're super cheap. Like you can buy like a ginormous daikon for like $2 or something. Like they're super cheap.
This is a small one.
Yeah,
normally they're like I don't know 10 times bigger.
Oh, yeah, they're like the length of this cutting board easily. Yeah.
One thing I'd like to say, I don't know why every time I see them, I always wonder how they get them out of the ground. Like
I think I gotta like dig under and pull them out. Like they're a festive bunch.
Oop, excuse me.
There. Got some turnips. We're like spiralizing everything today.
Look at that, isn't that like weird?
Yeah, like it just looks so happy. I think big old turnip on there. Whee!
That's cool looking, isn't it?
Yeah. And like it's kind of like a nice sound. There.
Yep. Like you can pickle these and
do a
quick pickle because they're so thin.
Oh yeah, like you just heat up the pickling liquid, pour it on there.
Pour it on there, exactly.
Call it a day. And then you just slice it super nice and clean. I think it's kind of magical.
Look like a mushroom now.
Yeah, it does. Like, it looks just happy. And so we got some leeks. We're gonna julienne up some of these puppies. So I usually kind of cut them down in length so it's a little bit easier to work with. And then cut it in half. That way you get it nice and flat, so it's pretty easy to julienne. So julienne is just a type of cut. Like it literally means like little, it's like little matchsticks.
Yep. It's typically it's supposed to be 1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch by 2 or 2.5 inches. Like if you really want to get crazy and technical, but you know this is a kitchen julienne, and so we say julienne. It's like just a very fine cut.
Yeah. But it's nice because I want to try and get everything about the same size. So like everything cooks very nice and evenly. And it's pretty easy to do. Like you're just using kind of like the layout of the leek kind of to our advantage. All right, so we got to make a little saucy sauce here too.
Looks cool. All the different colors in there.
Yeah, doesn't it? And it's going to be like healthy and stuff. Like who knew? So we got some shallots.
So there's nothing else in there, no oil, none of that, right?
Nope. And then we got some white wine. So this will be the beginning of little butter sauce. So we're going to make a little beurre blanc out of this.
So you're just going to do a reduction, basically.
Yes.
White wine, shallots reduce.
Yep. And then we're just going to cook that down until it's just about dry.
And so that's called au sec in the French words, right?
In the super fancy words.
Yeah, au sec.
So basically, once that is au sec, like we're gonna start mining butter and fun stuff.
Okay.
So.
And the reason why is because if we do it ahead of time, what happens?
it'll just break.
Yeah,
like it'll
separate.
Get
yeah, and so that's what'll hold it together. If you reduce it, it gets a little thicker, and then you pull it off the heat, or you turn it down, and then you mount it with butter.
Yeah, but like it's fitted like because it's an emulsified sauce, but like butter is already emulsified the way it is. So like our job is basically not breaking it.
Right.
Like
and you need whole butter too.
Yeah.
Right? Do not use melted butter. Don't use margarine. Yep. You got to use butter. It has to have that fat in there.
Yeah.
And it has to be in room temperature is fine. Even if it's a little cool, it's fine. But as long as that's what's going to hold together.
Yep.
Because butter does make cream too, and so you just don't melt this before you put it in there. Because if you do, it's not going to look the same.
It gets a little fidgety. So this is going to simmer along for a little bit. I don't know. We should probably eat some butter or something for a little bit.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So we'll be back in a little bit, and we're going to show you guys how to finish up this sauce, and we got to cook up Billy and all these vegetables and all this fun stuff.
That's right. We'll get them ready to go for a butter bath.
Oh yeah. Woo. So you guys stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
See you.
This opportunity changed my life. I came to MCC for an associate's degree in video production and to complete my gen eds. I really got involved here. Now I'm at UNO working on my 4-year degree. I saved so much money starting at MCC. Plus I found what I really like to do.
Take the most affordable path to a 4-year degree.
MCC empowers me to continue my education.
Classes begin September 4th. Register by August 27th. Get started at mccneb.edu/empowersyou.
All right, we got all our spiralized shenanigans.
Yep.
We got Billy. He's back in action. So I'm gonna season Billy liberally with salt.
This is kosher salt.
Yep. And like trout is a fairly lean fish. Like it's not very fatty, so it doesn't take too much seasoning. A little bit of the good old pepper on there. And I just got already heated up a pan over here. Pretty nice and hot. Nice and toasty. I'm gonna put them skin side down. Like you want it to be hot, but you don't want it to be like smoking. Just see how they're just contracting right there? Oh yeah. And then we're gonna let them sizzle along and do their little thing.
Let them cook for a little while.
Yeah, we'll let a little butter in there.
There you go. That butter also add some browning to it.
Totally.
Because of the fat in there. So.
Yep. Yeah, like all the milk solids, but just brown it and just make it super, super tasty.
So you have it you don't have it cranked up high, do you? Or do you?
No, just like, I started out like medium heat and then kind of go up to like a medium high.
Got it.
Because you want to try and get the skin like nice and crisped up.
And you want to cook it through, so you don't want to cook it so fast where it's raw in the middle. So you want to give it a little time.
Yeah. But like they're fairly thin fillets, so like it goes pretty quick.
Okay.
They're pretty magical. All right, so then we got our little magic sauce. So we reduced the white wine. Then we added a little bit of cream and cooked it down just so it's pretty nice and thick.
And all that cream is going to do is it's going to stabilize it.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. Because you can totally make it without the cream, but it's a little fidgetier. Fidgetier? Is that even a word? I don't know. So we're gonna start adding butter just a little bit at a time, and don't try and add it too fast.
No, because if you do that, it'll melt and then it'll separate, and that's what you don't want. So Oystein is just trying to incorporate it so it looks nice and homogeneous.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So use the butter to control your heat, right? Because if the butter gets too hot, then it's just gonna break and gets really funky.
And the heat, he does not have it on high heat. I mean, it's very hot. I mean, don't get me wrong. I guess I've worked in restaurants too where I've had that thing cranked up high, and I just control it by taking it off the heat. But usually, here we have it pretty low, really.
And if you have the heat higher, you can add more cold butter at a time to help keep the temperature down.
There you go.
And stuff like that. So like it works out, but the cream will make it a lot more stable, easier to deal with.
Yeah, and it'll hold a little longer too. It won't separate as fast, and so because eventually it will separate. It's not a
because this once it's made, like you got to keep it around like 130 degrees. Like if it gets too hot, it'll break. If it gets too cold, like all the butter will just kind of thicken up and gets kind of funky. Like so, right now, the butter we added to the fish like is nice and brown. It's not burnt. That's kind of why we used oil and butter together too. That will kind of increase the smoke point a little bit.
Got it. So you can use a combination instead of using just butter, flat out butter.
Totally.
Right?
Yep. Like, so now it's just kind of rolling around in what we call like a burnout set, so it's just like a nut butter.
Got it, which means brown to butter,
Yep,
right?
yep. Yeah, and it's just like a very nice and nutty, delicious flavor. Like, it doesn't get burnt, it doesn't get bitter. It's just super, super tasty.
And you could even use that if you ever want to do a little bit of basting.
Yes, yeah, totally.
And so how do you know when you need to flip that, Oystein?
Like, so right now it's not cooked through, like it's a little bit left to go. So I want to try and cook it as long as possible on one side. So I might just let it go all the way on this side and just kind of let it do its thing. Because you want to try and get that skin very nice and crisp. And you want to go long enough so it'll release from the pan as well.
So basically, a lot of people try to just release it automatically when they want to, but the truth is it will release on its own, won't it? Once it gets brown enough and it just...
Yeah, you have to be patient with it.
Yeah, it'll just...
It takes a little bit.
Just kind of give it a little try, and if it does, it will do it when it's ready. But you can see on the edges there that it's really nice and brown right now, and so that's what's going to...
So when we flip it,
let you know.
We'll kind of roll it onto its side. And then we're just about done. Right, because these fillets are so thin. But they're only going to take a little second. And roll it over.
Got one piece left. What the heck?
Yeah. Alright. Now I'm going to pull them off.
Do a little salt, pepper here.
Got a little happy little fishes. And like, you don't want to overcook it. Like, it's better having the fish be under, especially trout. But these fillets will overcook.
And it will continue.
Very, very fast.
Would you like this stuff?
Oh, please.
And it will continue to cook as it sits there for a little bit too. So
totally. And then we got all our spiralized happy veggies. We got our magic little leeks over here.
Yep.
Like, so now the beauty of it all kind of being uniformly cut kind of comes into play. Like, it's all going to cook super, super fast, and it doesn't take any cook time at all. It's going to release a little bit of moisture to kind of help deglaze that pan. We got some green onions. Got some parsley.
So really, you can use kind of whatever you have, really, right?
Totally. Yeah. You can really quite wing it.
The other thing that salt will do while he's just tossing it, he's just kind of sweating it. So sweating it means you're not like sauteing it really hard and trying to get a lot of browning, but that salt will also pull out flavors, right?
Totally.
You start to pull out some water and that sort of thing, and so...
I'm going to give it a little squeeze of your old lemon juice.
Yep, brighten it up a little bit.
And there, and that's all the cooking it's going to get.
Yep, so real simple.
Super, super quick. That way it's still, like, it's warm, but it's not hot.
Obviously, I mean, Oystein can hold on it with his hands, but he can do that anyway.
Yeah. It's not a good thing. All right, so you get great volume. He just looks happy. And
I'm going to put some...
Oh, I'm just going to pour it on.
There you go.
We're going to go dirty town on it. I figure the vegetables are healthy, so the sauce might as well not be, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to balance things out.
Oh, yeah. All right.
There you go.
Boom.
Well, you see how the sauce is nice and emulsified? It's not broken or anything like that?
Super nice and thick. This looks good.
Nice, like healthy, somewhat healthy.
Yeah, until we pour the butter on. But like
have some fat on there.
Fish is very lean and stuff like that. Yeah, we're gonna fine. Awesome. Be sure to check out our website for the recipes and all that kind of fun stuff. Thank you, Dr. Coase, for helping me out with all this fun
thanks
stuff.
for having me.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Everything looks great.
Right? We should eat some of this stuff.
It's breakfast for us, really.
Yeah, it is. I like butter for breakfast.
Why not?
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out our website for recipes and all that fun stuff. And we'll see you guys around.
All right, see ya.